Alright, welcome back to the channel. Warhammer Man back in the studio, and today we're taking a look at another free rules drop from Games Workshop. So before we jump right in, I just want to make a statement. Clearly Games Workshop is listening, which is awesome. I've talked quite a bit about how not giving away rules can really limit games, especially like starter rules, or create a barrier to entry for new players. And lately, we have seen Games Workshop giving away tons and tons of core rules for all the games, in some cases, all of the rules, giving away more rule books in more box sets when you do purchase something, free kill teams, free kill team light rules. It's just really nice and really refreshing to see that. And you may be sitting back to yourself thinking, I don't really care, I can buy whatever I want. And that's completely fine, and I totally understand. I'm on the same page as you. But the fact of the matter is, it's not about just one person or just who can afford it and who can't. The fact of the matter is it really helps new players to get into a game if they don't have to buy a bunch of rule stuff as well. If you can just get a couple models, play a couple games, have fun, and then later on get fully immersed and start buying rule books and all that stuff, that's how people get excited about stuff. It's very hard to build a bunch of excitement for somebody, get them to drop a few $100s, go home, build their models, paint them up, and then finally play a game after reading through all their rule books and all that. It just is a long, hard process if you go about it that route. And I think GW making light rules for things like Kill Team, or like easy to start rules, giving away lots of rules and publications, and then also selling them, so you allow people who want to buy them, but you give everybody access to them, like what we saw with warcry and many other games as well. I think it's all moves in the right direction. So let's take a look at what Games Workshop's giving away free this time. And if you don't think it makes a difference us telling Games Workshop how we feel, why are they giving away all these rules all of a sudden for free? I mean, obviously they're listening. They're doing what they need to be necessary. They're doing what they need to do to compete with companies like one-page rules. I mean, something like Kill Team Light is clearly, Games Workshop's argument, or Games Workshop's, defense, or their answer to something like one-page rules. And I think it's great. I think it's great. I mean, I love the idea of having just simple, quick, easy rules you can play with, or having like, more detailed, full-on immersive rules that you have as well. So it's great. I think it's awesome. I love to see Games Workshop fighting back, and basically creating a free market that's going to make better products for everybody. So, I mean, if it wouldn't have been for one-page rules, we wouldn't have got Kill Team Light lately. So, again, just many steps in the right direction. I love to see it. And, obviously we are making a difference. So, pat yourself on the back, and let's take a look at the Liber Mechanicum Forces of the Omnissiah Army book. Brought the Mechanicum up to date for the new edition of Warhammer, the Horus Heresy. We're now sharing rules for the more esoteric units that they couldn't squeeze into the book, along with an update to Legacies of the Age of Darkness, Legion Astartes rules. So that is obviously a very cool picture of some Mechanicum. Whether you're throwing in your lot with the Omnissiah or the War Master, you'll want to grab this free download. Here's Andy Hoare from the Warhammer Horus Heresy team to explain more. Andy says, following the release of the Liber Mechanicum, we have a selection of expanded unit army list entries accompanying it. As with the previously published Legacies of the Age of Darkness, the Legion Astartes document, these entries allow players with older miniatures or ones that aren't really part of the core army to continue using them. Okay, so this is for miniatures that basically are discontinued, essentially. The intent with these expanded unit entries is that they remain a work in progress until such time as we produce new miniatures or re-release old ones, at which point they will be published in the final core form in a book. Okay, so that makes sense. They always talk about how they're not going to have rules for models that they don't have models available for. Even though, one of the best things about the whole hobby is doing conversions and customizations. But it does make sense that if they're not going to sell the model, they're not going to have it printed in the book. So that tells you these models probably not on the top list. Speaking of the Legion Astartes document, we've taken the opportunity to update this based on feedback from Warhammer, the Horus Heresy players, which we're always happy to receive. If you have any such feedback on the rules or miniatures, especially when informed by games you've played, we'd love to hear via heresyfaq@gwplc.com. So that's good to hear. Obviously, they're listening to the feedback, like I was making in my earlier statement. So very, very cool. So I'm not really sure what all is in here. This PDF supplements the army list found in Warhammer the Horus Heresy Liber Mechanicum Forces of the Omnissiah Army book, allowing players to include expand units in their battles. Okay, so it makes sense. There's some limitations for core and expanded army list profiles. All army list profiles from the Warhammer Horus Heresy Age of Darkness range are divided into two categories: core units and expanded units. All the units in this PDF are expanded units, represent many of the little-known, rarefied units that were part of the Mechanicum during the Great Crusade and the Horus Heresy that may not have official miniatures and instead offered to collector an opportunity to convert their own interpretations. Both core and expanded types of units may be freely used in any Horus Heresy battle, and this category does not affect their availability as part of an army or detachment or the rules for their use during a battle. As new units and models are released, the army list profiles will clearly state if those units are core or expanded units, and future publications may shift the category of a given unit, with any such changes clearly noted in the unit's army list profile. So it doesn't really seem like the difference. I don't see what the differentiation between core and expanded are. I mean, obviously I get what they're saying right here, but it doesn't seem like they're limited or anything. You can still take them in games. Maybe there will be tournaments that say core only, no expanded units or something like that. But I would imagine these are rather obscure. If they don't make models for them, they can't be like that popular. Enarm Satariel, Master of the Thugmata Satariel. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what most of these are, just being heretics, or, Horus Heresy. Adsolarius, Techthrall, Certus Covenant, I don't know. Mechanicum Termite Assault Drill. Okay, so here's one that I'm familiar with, the old Termite Assault Drill. So that is interesting. They don't make the Termite Assault Drill anymore. Maybe this is a pretty popular unit from Forge World for Mechanicum. I wonder if this is going to be coming to plastic. That would actually make a lot of sense. But I guess realistically, if they had plans for it to come to plastic, they probably would have just included it in the Mechanicum. So maybe not. But interesting. This one is like fairly popular. I think it's probably the most common Mechanicum Forge World unit you see. Tarantula Sentry Gun Battery. I mean, this thing is OG. They haven't sold these in a while, I don't think, but I mean, there's still plenty floating around, so it makes sense that they have them available. Land Raider Phobos. Looks like it's got quite a few options here. Macro Carrot Explorator. So what is this thing? I would have to look. I'm sure I would recognize the model if I saw this, but I don't know what a Macro Carrot Explorator is. Reductor Artillery Tank Battery. Yeah, so these are just some rather obscure Forge World units. This thing has a Whirlwind missile launcher. Interesting. The Minotaur Battery. Okay, heard of that one. Alright, so that's it for the Mechanicum stuff. So it looks like there's about, what, 8 or 9 data sheets here? I think 9. So pretty cool. Nice little expansion. So if you were wondering why your unit was missing from the book, it's because it's expanded and not core. But pretty neat overall. I'm not sure that I ever actually looked at the Space Marine unit, the Legion's Astartes one. So let's take a look at this and see what all is in here. So I am more curious, and I'm sure I've heard of these. 105 pages. Oh, wow. They're not just giving away some rules. They're giving away all rules. Alright, so this is version 1.1 for the Legion's Astartes. Interesting. So again, same core and expanded. In the previous edition of the Horus Heresy, we have presented rules for the Knights Errant and Black Shields. This PDF provides rules for several unique characters, but does not contain the full rules for the iconic factions of the Age of Darkness. Instead, both the Black Shields and Knights Errant will be presented as factions with complete rules in a forthcoming Warhammer the Horus Heresy Age of Darkness publication. Interesting. So contents, oh man, yeah, there's no way we're going through all this. This would be a 4-hour video. Agents of the Emperor, Knights Errant. We have Nathaniel Guerrero. We all know who that is. And Tylus Rubio. And then Expanded Legions Astartes. Ah, man, there's a ton right here. Legion Primus Nullificator Consul. Warmonger Consul. Nullificator Squad. Castroferum Dreadnought Talon. Svatha Attack Bike Squadron. Tarantula Sentry Gun Battery. Terminator Indominus Squad. Avenger Strike Fighter, Thunderbolt Fighter, Primaris Lightning Strike Fighter, Land Raider Phobos, Land Raider Achilles, Basilisk Squadron, Medusa Squadron, Whirlwind. You can tell when they switch to like actual words how much easier it is to read. Estes Assault Ram, Malkador Assault Tank Squadron, Minotaur Battery, Stormblade, Thunderhawk Transporter, Marauder Bomber, Marauder Destroyer, Baneblade, Banehammer, Stormlord, Storm Sword, Shadow Sword, Mechanicum Heavy Tank Squadron, Mechanicus Omega Heavy Tank, Grassus Armored Assault Transport, Praetor Armored Assault Launcher, Fairth Red Loss, Holgun. These are the Legion specific units. Deathwing Terminator Cataphracte Companions, Deathwing Terminator, Tartarus Companions, Firewing Enigmatis Cabal, Exindio Battle Automaton, Falcon's Claws, Solman's Khan, Fenrisian Wolfpack. So much stuff here. We're on 60. Aedostios, Iron Father Autek Moore, Shadrach Medicine, Judicar Astrar Crothin, Honored Telemachus, Fulmenturus Terminator Squad, Locatorus Storm Squad, Cassius Dragon Reborn, Lord Chaplain Namus Rathan, Xiphus Jur, Moritat Prime Cadus Nex, Strike Captain Alvarex Mon, Palatine Blade, Aquile Squad. So I wonder, that's the only one that's in pink? Is that what they just added in and everything else is the same? Rylanor the Unyielding, the Tormentor, Iron Havocs, Erasmus Golg, Narek Dragur, Kier Valhin, Flaymaster Modern, Lineache, Karen Ophian of the Chiroptera, Nakrid Thol, Shabrandar, Galen Surlak, Chrysos Mortug, Marshal Durak Rask, Amatara Occult Intercession Cabal, Reaver Aggressor Squad, Tybalt Mar, Autilian Score, and then for our fortifications, we have the Firestorm Redoubt, Vengeance Weapon Battery, Void Shield Generator, Sky Shield Landing Pad, Fortress of Redemption, Aquila Strongpoint, Primus Redoubt, Hammerfall Bunker, and then expanded unit types, Fortification, Building Subtype, Emplacement Subtype, Barricade Subtype, and Massive Subtype. So an insane amount of stuff on this document. I do like, however this is hosted, that it doesn't have to load every page as you scroll. Sometimes Games Workshop stuff is like that, and it's super annoying. So this is very cool. 100 pages, so you can jump into that if you want. Obviously, insane amount of content there. So that is it for the free stuff. There's also some FAQs down here as well. But great to see that we are making a change. Awesome to see the Games Workshop is actually listening, and that we're giving them this feedback, and like it or not, they are accepting it and making changes. That is awesome. It's also cool to see Games Workshop's response to something like one-page rules. Obviously, we've seen rules bloat and power creep in a lot of their games just get out of control. So seeing like Kill Team light rules and got to give it to Kill Team for not having insane power creep. Obviously, the compendium teams are a little bit weaker, but all of the bespoke teams, all of the newer teams are pretty decent or at least competitive. So I do like some of the changes Games Workshop is doing. Obviously, there's a couple things they could do better, like Warhammer 40k. But the truth is, I mean, for how many factions are in 40k and just how many units there are and how many rules and books and all that stuff, it's, I don't want to say it's balanced, but it's at least fun and playable. If you're playing casual games with your buddies and you're constantly like destroying your friend, you probably have a competitive list and he probably has a, fun list. Because the truth is, any army can put up a fight as long as you're using, moderately balanced lists. So, but that's it for today. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like and subscribe. Really helps out the channel. It's absolutely free and definitely helps us grow. I do appreciate each and every one of the subscribers and community members. If you are into daily videos, reactions, reviews, news, painting, modeling, conversion tutorials, make sure that you do subscribe. We do everything from Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, Warcry, and of course, some Horus Heresy content as well. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man. Enjoy the free stuff.